yesterday, Tua Tagovailoa will take the reins as the starting quarterback of the 3-3 Miami Dolphins. Dolphins with the bye this week, giving Tua some extra time to get ready for that Week 8 matchup with the Rams. That will be 351 days since suffering a dislocated hip at Alabama. Some were surprised by the move after Ryan Fitzpatrick had won back-to-back games by a combined score of 67-17. All right, Brian Westbrook is back with us. Brian, you like the move at this time?
You know, Jenna, I love the move. And Brian Flores, he has the foresight and understanding that it's not about the present, it's about the future. And he had a plan. That's the best part about Brian Flores and this move. He had a plan. It doesn't matter what the record is. It doesn't matter where we're at as a team. He said that when Tua is going to be healthy, when he can protect himself, and he had enough practice time that he was going to play. So it didn't really matter how good or bad that Ryan Fitzpatrick was playing. He's going to play when he's ready to go out there and protect himself, and he can help this team. To me, this is actually because of the COVID situation and them, the Dolphins having to move their bye from Week 11 to Week 8 to now Week 7. At this point, this is a perfect situation. Now he gets that 2 weeks period of just getting up to speed, getting reps with the first team offense, and now he can understand and protect himself again and be ready to play. I think it's a perfect move for a team that's in development mode, not win now mode.
That's exactly what it is. And Nick, I may have went over on calling those other 4 teams and getting intel, but I got a little intel when it came to the Miami Dolphins. They're not happy about it, but they understand it. And they also, and here's why, because he hasn't adjusted to the speed of the NFL yet. He holds on to the ball a little too long. So Ryan Fitzpatrick gives you the best opportunity to win now. But when you think about this moment and how they can utilize this moment to prepare for next year, you have to make this decision. Me as a player in that locker room, I wouldn't like it. I have my guy Fitzy's back, not just because he's a really great guy, but because he gives us the best opportunity to win. I'm a wide receiver. I want the ball now. I don't have time to be running 70 plays a game and getting my depth on every single route and doing my job and the ball's not there, or him getting sacked because he's holding on to it a little long. I don't have time if I'm one of those guys in that locker room that's in year 9, year 10, and it's pretty much over for me waiting for this guy to develop, and especially when this organization has lost year after year after year.
You know, Brandon, I think you're right. If you're an older veteran, you don't want to be in this position. But if you're one of these younger guys, especially a coach that's in his, second or third year here, Brian Flores, you're going to help this team in the future because of this move. And if I'm one of these young receivers, maybe one of those young receivers that opted out because of COVID, I'm super excited to see how well this young player, Tua, is going to be able to go out there and play. This is an exciting time for the Dolphins. I think you should be excited as well if you're one of these young players on that football team.
And I'm not certain this makes them worse. And that's not disrespect to Fitzpatrick. Listen, Brandon.
It is disrespect.
That's not disrespecting your guy.
It's not disrespect. If you're putting a rookie.
Because I think Tua's awesome.
A rookie is saying it's not disrespect.
I think Tua's awesome.
Oh, my goodness.
Listen, Ryan Fitzpatrick, they've played 6 games. He's been awesome in 3 of them. He's been dreadful in 2 of them. And the Jets game was a mixed bag. And partially because you're playing the Jets, but also because he had a couple picks, but also had 3 touchdowns, threw for a bunch of yards. So you've got 3 A's, 2 F's, and call it a C+ on his grade card so far this year. I think Tua is going to have lower highs, but not as many low lows. So it's not just for the future, it's also for the right now. And you get him in before the bye, so he gets the extra time to prepare. And then after the Rams game, they can go on a bit of a run. They have the Jets. This is not the exact order, but it's the Jets again. They have the Broncos. They have the Chargers. They have the Bengals coming up. So, look at that. The Cardinals are mixed in there as well. I forgot about that. Another bad defense. This is the time to do it. Thus far this year, you've lost to the 3 teams better than you. You beat 2 teams you're better than, and the surprising win over San Francisco when they were really beat up on national television. So to me, I don't think this is a we're giving up on the season move. I think it is partially for the future, but also I think they believe, Jenna, they can compete right now.
All right, well, competing is one thing, but Brian, I'll ask you, you think at 3-3 with Tua now at the helm that this team can make the playoffs?
No, I don't think they make the playoffs. They're not better than the Bills. They're not better than the Patriots at this time, especially with a young quarterback. Again, this is about getting experience. This is about getting time under center for Tua. This is about just getting used to the NFL, the speed of the game. And really for him, a guy that hasn't played in over 300 days, this is just him trying to get back into the rhythm of football. This has nothing to do about winning games. This is about him getting better and getting prepared for the next couple seasons as he moves forward with this football team.
Nick, I'm going to throw a graphic up here and ask you a question. Do you think because Joe Burrow has looked good, #1 pick, but specifically Herbert has looked pretty good?
Yes.
And I'm not saying it accelerated, but if those guys really looked bad, that the Dolphins would have pumped the brakes a little bit and like, oof, it's kind of rugged out there in the NFL. Or because these guys look so
But
good,
it is rugged for
that Tua's timeline moved up.
Listen, they evaluated these quarterbacks. We know they believed Tua Tagovailoa, despite the injury, is better than Justin Herbert. And Justin Herbert, I know the record doesn't show it, but has played well. So now that Tua's healthy, I think absolutely the rookie quarterback succeeding plays into it. And Brandon, I do think they can make the playoffs. I think they can get to 9 wins. And 9 wins, I think, will be enough for at least to be in a tiebreaker for that 7 seed. You know I'm not as high on Buffalo as other people are. We just laid out the soft part of their schedule. And I think Brian Flores is an excellent coach. We were talking about this team. Is it going to be the worst team in NFL history last year? They ended up going 5-4 down the stretch. So I like this move for the now, for the future, and for the now. And Fitzy will be fine. Like, Fitzy is such a great teammate and consummate pro. He had to know this was probably coming at some point, and he still was celebrating Tua the way he was when he came back in the game. Someone's going to give Fitzy the bag again. He's great at that. He's great at securing the bag and getting people excited. So, like, this isn't the end of the road for your guy, but I think it's good for the Dolphins to turn the page, Brandon.
Yeah. No, it can happen. Look, some guys are just ballers. B, you know this. In practice right now, Tua's not looking the best. That's just the reality. But you go back to some guys, you know, in history, go to Tua and insert him in Alabama, how he just steps in, he balls. I go back to his guy right now, Ryan Fitzpatrick, in 2015. He absolutely looked terrible in practice, and then he went in and had an all-time great year. He looked great in the games. He played big in a lot of our games. We won 10 games when we were supposed to we were predicted to win like 4, maybe 5 games. So we don't know. Tua could easily be in there and be one of those guys when the lights are on and the however many people are in the stands right now and get a little loud, he just takes his game to a whole nother level. We don't know. We will see. Is he capable of being the franchise quarterback? Obviously, because they took him with the 5th overall pick. But will he be able to hold that and carry that for the next 10 years? We will see.
If nothing else, Miami excited for a new quarterback to come in. We haven't seen that in a long time. Big rumblings out of Atlanta of possible changes nobody saw coming at the start of the season. Talk some Falcons on the other side. First things first.